All right, so today is December 19th, 2019, and this is an interview for the Monroe Bearcats History Project. And I'm going to let the two guys that I'm interviewing today tell me a little bit about themselves.
You go first.
Brandon Rodriguez, class of 2021, nose guard from Monroe High School.
Aiden Howerton, class of 2021, middle linebacker for Monroe High School.
Okay. So you guys are both seniors. How'd you guys both get into football? Like, when did you start playing?
I started playing football, I want to say, probably first year in middle school. I wasn't allowed to play the contact yet because of my mom. She was just nervous about the head injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
So I got into it in middle school.
I got into football when I was the first year you could play. My dad was super for it, and I've just been basically playing football my whole life. I don't remember a year that I haven't been playing football, I guess. So I've been doing it for a while.
Okay. So when you guys got into, before you guys got into high school, did you know you wanted to be part of the high school team? Was it a sport that you really gravitated towards, or were there other sports that you were thinking about?
Oh no, for me it was definitely football. You know, going from the older guys from middle school, they always talked about going to high school and starting, so I wanted to join them in that.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I've always just thought football is just growing up. It's always been a part of my life, and I for sure couldn't imagine going through the life without football. So I've always wanted to play, and high school ball has been the funnest experience of my life so far. So going into it, I was play some high school ball.
Yeah. So I guess your first season playing football doesn't have to be freshman or anything like that, freshman team or junior varsity. Your first year playing, were there any upperclassmen that you really looked up to that were particularly helpful for you guys becoming better players and all that?
Personally, it wasn't an upperclassman, but someone in my class was Trey Lane, because freshman year he had made varsity and JV, and I thought I could do that, but he beat me in that, and I was really jealous about that. So I just looked up to him.
For me, the person I looked up to was Blake Rybar. I played with him, and Kim and I have gotten really close lately. Lately, and I've always looked up to him. He's always been a leader. He's always been a super stud, and I always was that's somebody that I looked up to because I want to be a leader and I want to be that guy. So.
Now, tell me about the positions that you played. Was it just something that you were always you always felt you were going to do that, or did you play other positions? Or?
Well, nose guard, what happened was I was a linebacker in middle school, but I was like a DN kind of linebacker. I'd rush the quarterback a lot. And coming into high school, I thought I was going to be D-end. But the DNs we had some, we had good DNs, we had tall, wiry guys. So they were like, where could we fit them in on the D line? And I ended up playing Scouty for nose guard, and it just fit me perfectly.
Yeah, I've been playing. I started out with DN, and then I switched to linebacker in middle school, and I've kind of just jumped around with different positions in linebacker. But my primary spot has been inside linebacker since it's 8th grade really.
All right. Now, did you guys play at all in the 2018 season?
I did. Yeah. I did. We both did, actually. Towards the end of our year, freshman year, they had us jump in, play some special teams for the 2018.
Yeah.
Now, being part of that 2018 team, I've talked to a few guys about it, and it was kind of a difficult season. What was your experience being on that squad?
It was just growing pains, So we were all fresh, so we hadn't had much experience, and I don't know. I feel like I'm almost glad that happened in a way, because obviously this year we had a very good season because of that.
Yeah, just repeating what he said, it was just a growing year. We were fresh and we needed experience, and it was definitely a year to climb. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, this past season, we just, the season's been over for about a month. But let's talk about 2019. So tell me, your that first game. You're going up against Eastlake. They beat you guys the year before, and it's a big game. You know, it's at home. You got all the all black unis on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that game. It was a classic.
I want to say just confidence. I mean, that was the biggest part. The year before, we thought that was our worst game played, and if we played just a lot cleaner, we could have beat them. And we had a bunch of guys coming back, especially on the O-line, which was super important because we knew we were going to be able to run the ball on them, and that's how we ended up winning.
Yeah, that's a big thing is confidence. I think one thing that we didn't have last year was confidence because we were so young and we couldn't come off the ball. And, you know, from the first play, we couldn't really play our 100% because we were either nervous or tightened up and we couldn't do our best. But for sure this past year, we that first game, we just had confidence. We felt bigger, we felt stronger, and we had, you know, the coaching staff that we wanted that, you know, could point us in the right direction. We knew that we put our trust into them, and we, you know, went out there and balled out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, you know, you guys win that first game, and then the next two games you're playing against, you know, a really good Woodinville and Lake Stevens squad, and you guys drop those games.
Mm-hmm.
When you guys are 1-2 on the season, and you got the rest of the West Coast, you know, slate coming up, none of that's a given. I know Monroe's better than all those teams,
Yeah.
much better. But you know, to be 1-2 on a season, you guys were really you know, we can take this really far.
Yeah.
What did you guys say to each other, you know, before you started the rest of the season?
Well, after that, you know, that gauntlet, you know, the first 3 games, we knew that it was a decline, so we just made sure that from that point onward we didn't start playing down because we knew that we were going to see those guys again, and that we needed to be prepared. Because that Woodinville game, I feel like we could have won that one.
Yeah, a little frustrating.
That was a tight game.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the entire year since that gauntlet, that was our motto was play our brand of football because, you know, we could go down to the level of our opponents and make it a tough game, but if we played our brand of football, you know, like we did, just blow the teams out of the water and, you know, get ready for playoff football, which is what we did.
Yeah, so you guys just run through the rest of the schedule. I knew that was going to happen. I was they might start off a little bit weird the first half, but, you know, once you guys get into the rest of the West Coast, you guys played like the team you guys were supposed to be.
Yeah.
And the last home game against Glacier Peak, what was that game like? And it was kind of an emotional game.
Awesome. That game was definitely a game that we all marked because Coach Nelson came from GP, and I feel like as a defense, we wanted to really make him proud because you could tell during that week, he had never been this nervous, you know. It wasn't Lake Stevens, it wasn't Woodinville, but he had a little kind of, you could tell this was important to him, so we wanted to make sure that we defeated him on TV for him.
Yeah. I came from Glacier Peak, or Valley View, which is, you know, run into Glacier Peak. For 7th and 8th grade, I played on GP youth ball. And you know, that entire squad I know them personally, I've played with them, and beating them, it was kind of just you know, I've never I don't know, freshman year and sophomore year, actually freshman year was a close game, but sophomore year they destroyed us, and I know that when we finally beat them on TV for Coach Nelson, it was just, you know, that it was a cool feeling. You're playing on the edge.
Yeah,
you know,
that was the
you're
best
locked in.
feeling.
So
Doing
cool.
it for Coach Nelson was just, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't happen regularly where you have a game that's on TV. I don't remember the last time that it was on you know, Root Sports. What was that feeling like for you guys knowing hey, this is going to be on TV, you know?
It was, you know, it didn't really set in until we had a commercial break timeout.
Yeah.
I'm we're on TV, you know, playing football. And I was I gotta ball out, you know, make sure that everyone sees what I'm doing.
Actually that hit me too. That was crazy. Especially after the game, if you look back and watch the game, you're like, oh my god, that's me on TV. That's weird. But yeah, playing in that game with the TV going, us being on television, I was just you know, it was kind of just a different feeling of being locked in and playing on a different level and intensity and just really going for it.
Yeah. Now, you know, the offense gets a lot of credit because there's some ballers on that side of the ball. But the defense, I mean, I don't think you guys got enough credit for being just a solid squad.
Yeah.
So tell me about the defense this last season and what made you guys like really kind of rise.
I'd say the biggest difference between this year and then the year prior was Coach Nelson entirely, because he came in and he changed our entire scheme, and he knew what everyone's strong suit was and how he could use them to their best ability. Like hacking, he had never played varsity, not even the year when we, sucked. And he came in and he's like, you're going to be a linebacker, kind of safety hybrid. And now he's a first team all area kind of guy.
Crazy.
Yeah, and no one expected that. He was probably the most improved player, but Coach Nelson was definitely, I think, the key part in just making us better.
Yeah, for sure. Coach Nelson could really, take our abilities and what we're good at and our strengths and stuff, and he could really put it into one and in a way. And also a thing that I think really rose up was our team chemistry. We all were super close. I wouldn't say there was a single person on that squad that wasn't best. We were all homies. We were all brothers, and we all loved each other. And it was playing. If you look to the left and the right, and you're
Playing for each other.
Yeah, you're playing for your guys. That's what it really came down to. I feel like last year it could have been something different, but this year for sure I feel like we were playing for something bigger than what we actually were.
Yeah. Now, how I knew that the defense was really good is I was, I'm on Twitter and I'm just looking because I keep track of the team, and then I saw this tweet. It's like, this Rodriguez kid is leading the state in sacks. What? I was like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time we did that, but you want to talk about your season?
Well, yeah. My sophomore year, I thought when we came to an award ceremony that I deserved to at least get honorable mention. And I didn't, and that really hurt me. And so I just told all the O-linemen, I'm like, I wanted 20. I told them 20. I'm like, I want 20 sacks. And they all looked at me, they're like, yeah, okay. They're like, yeah, okay, bro, that's cool, And I was like, I would just keep doing my handwork every single day. And after the Eastlake game, I had 2 sacks, which was 2 more than my previous year. So I'm like, if I keep getting 2, I might, 10 games, I might get to the 20. And then Woodinville came and they just ran it. And it was just no sack that game. I think Lake Stevens, I had a sack. But I just had to keep saying, I'm got to get to 20. But 12 and a half was definitely good for me.
Oh, yeah, definitely caught a lot of attention. But what was your guys' best individual games, that you had? Just the one that you liked the most in this last 2019 season? You go ahead.
I would say for me, Eastlake or Cascade. I feel like for Eastlake, I really turned it on there, and the switch came on, and I felt like I was everywhere that game. Or Cascade, Blake Rybar was down, and at the beginning of the game we didn't know if we would have him or not, and he ended up going in. I think around the second quarter or halftime he came in, but they had him only starting on offense, and so I knew that Coach pulled me aside you're gonna have to lead this team. So I knew that me and Bearcat had to step up, and they were a run heavy team, so we shut it down for the most part, except for that first drive. But I felt like that was a good game for me.
I think the GP game was my favorite because I wanted to do it for Nelson. That was a big part, but my best game probably Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon, I had 4 sacks that game and 15 tackles. So that was definitely my best game, but my favorite game was GP.
Yeah. So, we get to the playoffs and you guys are matched up against Mount Si. Again, back in, this was a year before you guys played. It's the 2017 game. It's a crazy game. Going into that game, what had you heard about kind of Mount Si and that game before?
Well, we had a lot of film on them because we used to play them previously, and the film that we had on them this year, I think we all underestimated them. Especially their big guys, their O-line and D-line. The O-line, they didn't have very Blake Stevens, big guys. So we we just thought, oh, we're going to be able to move these guys around. We're going to be able to get to the quarterback. But those guys had, perfect technique, and they just caught us off guard early.
Yeah, that's a big thing is film. But another thing I heard that, we were 2-0 against them from previous years, and they were hungry for us. And, they definitely did catch us off guard. That was a beatable team. But, there were some things that they had that we weren't expecting.
Yeah, they ended up beating Lake Stevens, I believe.
Yeah.
That
was a shocker. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I thought they're not gonna make it past us. They're definitely not gonna make it past Lake Stevens. But that's football. It happens. Team gets hot. I know the season just ended, but looking forward to next year. There's a lot of senior turnover, and then recently Coach Bump is stepping down for the program. What are you guys' thoughts? I know it's like way ahead, but just what are you guys feeling right now?
I'm feeling good. We're not going to be as senior heavy next year, but we have a lot of good young guys. A lot of guys that no one really knows about yet, like Sam Kabadi. He's going to be our right guard next year, and he has so much potential to be a great player. A lot with our O-line.
Yeah.
So I feel like if we're strong there, we could win some games.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that our team has a lot of potential to be really good. I think that we're not going to be super senior heavy, obviously, but I think the seniors that we do have are some studs, and we do have really studly, younger guys. And, I think just working out and working really hard, we can definitely, I think, just overcoming the fact that we're a bit young, but, looking for, hardworking, and I think that's our strong suit, is because we're a really hardworking team.
And we're moving down to 3A.
Yeah.
South.
Okay, I didn't know about that.
We just not that long ago we got told we're not big enough to be in the 4A division, and
apparently there's a lot.
We haven't been for like a couple of years. So
yeah, and apparently there's a few teams that I think are stepping down as well to 3A.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess what's the importance of having like a winning culture at Monroe? Like, how important is that, guys? How important is that for you guys? Going forward into like your season and just like your week to week basis, like.
I think it just sets like the bar. Everyone knows that if you come to Monroe, we're going to win games, but you can't come to Monroe and expect to win games by doing nothing. So I think the competition is always going to be good, and just good mindset.
Yeah, we definitely have a target over our heads. For other teams, like, we want to beat these guys, and for other people, for other like guys that want to go on a winning program, or we have like some guys coming in like Riley Rodolfo. He came from Solton and just came in and he's a stud. And we definitely have a target on our heads that we want to beat. They want to beat us, and we're gonna beat them, and that other guys are gonna want to come and join us. Yeah, for sure.
So let's switch over to like rivalry talk now, because I always ask guys in interview, how do you guys feel about the Lake Stevens rivalry? Like, what's it mean to you guys?
Well, personally, I don't have like a hate for them. It's more of a respect kind of thing. I always know going into Lake Stevens week, it's a very important week because of the rivalry. But I don't know. I don't talk to them. They don't talk to me. It's just important game.
Yeah, I definitely respect them. They're definitely like a good program, and but like my hate for them really started in 8th grade when we were in playoffs, like deep in the playoffs, and they beat us, like rolled us, and ever since then I was like, man, these freaking Lake Stevens guys. And I come here my freshman year, and same thing happens, and it keeps we keep losing these guys, and I'm like, and then it just keeps building up, and definitely I'm just like, man, I just want to beat these suckers so bad. It's just like. Definitely, like what we were saying, it's like respect, and like you want to beat them and like do it, and like
there's definitely extra pushing and shoving in the piles and stuff like that.
Right.
So you can tell it's important.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess it's news to me, but moving down to 3A, what are you guys' feelings on that? What are you guys thinking? Like, you guys are gonna be matching up against new teams?
I don't know how to feel yet. Because throughout my entire high school career, you start learning what every team kind of likes to do. So it's going to be a learning experience, having to relearn all the schemes, all the what they like to do. But I'm just hoping that the competition is still there.
Yeah.
That was my biggest worry. It was just going to be too easy.
Yeah, like Bear was saying, and how you said earlier, is that we obviously dominate Westco for the most part, besides Wake, but going down to 3A, it'll we won't have. It might not be as good as competition, and so we can't put that in our heads. Though we gotta play our brand of football and steamroll some guys and do what we have to do, and not have mercy, just like other teams that we've played, and even in 4A.
Now I'm curious. I don't know how the recruiting stuff really works out, but have you guys had any kind of experience with a little bit of recruiting at the college level? I know you guys are going to become seniors next year, but it's been a little bit of talk or.
Yeah, definitely. You get emails, texts sometimes from coaches. They're interested. They just want to get to know you. I don't have any offers yet, of course, but they're definitely talking to me.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
It's just you said it perfectly.
Yeah, so it's just a little bit of, okay. I was curious. I'm do they talk to guys who are their juniors?
Yeah, you got to make sure you check everything, because, sometimes they'll email you, it's Twitter or a text, so, or even a phone call, Sometimes I got to be thinking, I see this random number, I'm do I pick it up just to check, see if it's college trying to talk to me?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Got to keep your GPA up. You got
Mm-hmm.
to make sure you're passing all your classes.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's all my questions so far. It's been good talking to you guys. But do you guys have any final words about the future of Bearcat football and your guys' careers going forward?
Future for Monroe is still bright. Without Bump, he left us in good hands with the coaches we have, and M-Town's still going to be M-Town.
Yeah, for sure. I think we play our brand of football. We do what we want to do, and we don't worry about our competition and what's going on. I think one thing that we have really developed at getting good at is not letting them get in our heads. And last year last year when we weren't as good, we definitely got nervous and definitely let guys get in our head. And I think this year we were the guys getting in their heads, and we were definitely a loud team. We were yeah, what's going on? We had our motto and stuff, and we definitely if we play our brand of football, we'll be just fine. I think we'll do really good.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good for me. But thank you guys.
Yeah, no problem.